Well, to discuss this further, let's cross over to Washington to speak to Danielle Pletka, the Vice President of Foreign and Defense Policy Studies at the American Enterprise Institute and a former senior staff member for the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations. Now, Washington is calling for a de-escalation of this crisis. It's being completely ignored. How can one resolve this?
It's exactly the right question. You know, I think that we have called for a de-escalation. I know we've spoken to the Israelis, we've spoken to the Egyptians, I'm sure that we've spoken to the Qataris and others. And unfortunately, everybody seems to have their own iron in the fire here, and nobody really wants to see de-escalation. Particularly, I would say, Hamas, which is doing this for its own political reasons.
And Danielle, in your opinion, just how much difference does Egypt's new government make to this whole crisis?
You know, if you'd asked me that a few months ago, I would have said that Egypt would walk a very careful line, because the relationship with the United States is quite important. The relationship with other moderate Arab states is quite important. But I think that Mohamed Morsi has made a number of unfortunate decisions in the last few days, sending the Prime Minister ostensibly to broker a ceasefire, but really to barrack for and advertise Egypt's support for Hamas is really not terribly helpful, and I think it's going to be looked at quite askance here from Washington.
And what do you think will happen to the peace treaty between Egypt and Israel?
I hope that the Egyptians understand, as I believe the Israelis do, that peace between the two countries is in both their interests, as frankly it is between the Palestinians and the Israelis, and that walking away from it after more than 3 decades is a terrible and fateful decision for the Middle East, and I would say especially for us in the Middle East.
In your opinion, is there a diplomatic way out, or is an escalation and a ground offensive inevitable?
There's always a diplomatic way out, as long as there's a willingness on both sides to step back. I think part of the problem is that Hamas is being motivated by something other than its conflict with Israel here. It's really a little bit of a bank shot for them politically. They're aiming at their rival Fatah in the West Bank. This rivalry has become extraordinarily unhealthy for the Palestinian people, and so it serves their political interests to continue. Of course, it's innocent Palestinians and Israelis who end up the worst victims of this conflict.
And Danielle, is there a question mark that if Israel continues to undermine Hamas's authority in Gaza, what will take its place there?
Well, I'd love to be able to say that Hamas had authority in Gaza. It's extraordinarily unpopular with the people of Gaza for a very simple reason. It's delivered none of the benefits of orderly government. The economy is in a shambles. People's lives and well-being have disintegrated since Hamas took over. So I think they also recognize that they're very unpopular. What takes over? You know, there's chaos now. It will continue to be chaos. And I only hope that there will be those among the Palestinians who see reason.
Okay, Danielle Pletka, we have to leave it there. Danielle Pletka from the American Enterprise Institute, thank you very much.